Down on the south, the crossbreds, oh sorry, the Corridales. Up in the Canterbury, the Lambs at Martin, second shear at Piatua. So we've had everything up. This is going to be the last event before we have a cup of tea. We've got 2 heats of this. It'll take a little bit of time. These merinos almost double the time than, of course, that it takes to shear the Romneys. PGG Wrightson sponsored event. We only want to find the finalists. We've got 12 guys. We need to get rid of 6. Not really, but, you know, they just need to dock them off.
That sounds a bit rough, actually.
They get $150 for turning up.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I turned up and I didn't get $150, John.
It's coming. It's in the post, too, mate. We've got a Welshman back on board, I think. He's been out and got some magic drink. A bit of the H2O instead of the Tui Brown.
I was going to say, wasn't that Karuba?
And it definitely wasn't Tui last night, unfortunately, either. Well, we got another fantastic lineup up there.
We just need the shearers on the board, so we need to get this thing started, otherwise we're going to be here at dark.
Timekeeper's ready. Didn't work, Thomas.
It will, if I say it, because they get disqualified after I say it. Okay, guys, come on, let's have it. On 1, Johnny. Thank you. Let's have you out. We've got the green light, gentlemen. 4. Everybody's happy now. We're good to go. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. Well, Hugh, we've got a little bit of tricky stuff to deal with. These wrinkly merinos coming out grey, they'll go out inky pinky white, or as close as we can get to the bottom of the skin, and the fine wool will be dealt to with these young lovely people down here in the front and out the back, and be kept separate from all the crossbred wool. So interesting stuff to see these guys, Sean. A few pokes and jabs with a handpiece, not quite the flowing rhythm of the Romney crossbreds, but it's going to be great to see.
Yeah, no, these merinos, they take a fair bit of sharing, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's a lot of people watching this event worldwide, so a very warm welcome to you on the internet. John Kirkpatrick then on stand number 1, a past winner of this, the PGG Wrightson's national circuit. He's got his face on one of those lovely Hyundai trucks out the front there that the winner gets to drive. So he'd love to do it again. He won it last year. Then on stand number 2, we got Gavin Rowland, the main man at Tectra. He's also the chairman of Shearing Sports New Zealand. So he knows his way around this shearing game. It's great to see him up there in the semi-final. Then on stand number 3, we've got Norm Haraway from Rakaya. Another Tectra instructor, a commentator. He's a busy man around this shearing game. And he's shown a lot of these old wrinklies, these merinos. He knows his way around them. And down the last side he comes now then. And Darren Ford from Invercargill, from Tuatapri. He's a world record holder, ladies and gentlemen. He holds several world records. The main one was that U record, 720 U's in 9 hours that he showed. And that record stood for 11 years before it was beaten by only 1. Then on stand number 5, we got a past winner of this, the PGG Wrightsons. He was second in the circuit. He was a team member for New Zealand over in Wales last year. And he's got his second sheep coming out onto the board. Then we've got a young fella, Axel Reid. Great to see young Axel. He's shown all over the world. And now he's up here shearing, and he'd love to make that big final of this, the PGG Wrightson's circuit, the national circuit. So John Kirkpatrick brings out sheep number 2. Number 2 Out on stands 1, 3 and 5, and sheep number 2 will just about to come out now on stands 2, 4 and 6. So they've got to share these merinos. There's a lot of work on these merinos, Tuma.
There certainly is a lot of work in these merinos, Huey. They call these big wethers red eyes. I'm not sure why they call them red eyes. I think it's because if you make them angry, their eyes go red and they turn into like the Incredible Sheep Hulk. And their wrinkles grow longer and make it even harder to shear. So it pays to like try and keep them as happy as you can so that they don't get angry and their wrinkles grow longer, because they're hard enough to shear at the moment as it is. But looking down the board, this Tony Costa down here on stand number 5. He looks like he's shearing corridals. Is he? Are those corridals that he's got, John?
Well, he's making it look that easy, Tuma. He just rocks up the long blow. He's making a lovely job of it too, but we know the expertise this man possesses. He hasn't won that this event before just for nothing. It's not a give me. You've got to get up there, and it's all hard yards as you compete up here on the stage under the lights, shearing those wrinklies, poking and jabbing. They've got horns on them. They've got lots of wrinkles, and they're very, very stroppy sheep, as Gavin Rollers is starting to experience now. But these guys are all top competitors. They've been there, they've been in the sheds, they've done the hard yards, but hey, this is a different ball game. Under pressure up here now. Big Norm Haraway. He'd be probably wishing about now he's still in the commentary team as he comes under the shoulder and down out to the flank. It looks a lot easier than it really is. You've got to use that left hand to stretch those wrinkles. Up the long blow now comes Gavin Rowlands. They've got 3 of these jolly demons to shear. Darren Ford, top class shearer he is. He's only at the top of the shoulder now, while there's 2 other shearers have gone on ahead of him. But the sheep vary a little bit. You can get, and it's the luck of the draw in the pen, you can get a real ugly one, or a one that's not quite, the wrinkles aren't quite so large, and you can glide across them a bit easier without so much of the left-hand work, as Johnny Kay brings out sheep number 3. So he's right on the pace. He had a better sheep that time round. Down the last side comes Axel Reed, changing the colour of that sheep. Worth mega dollars as wool. Hey, beautiful. How many 6-7 kilos of wool coming off these sheep? Big armfuls for the wool handler. She's got to reach right over there and help Axel get it off that back leg. Big red eye, down the hole he goes. Still one in the pen for him. But who's out in front at the moment? Hugh, with Roland still to get his second sheep out on the board.
Yeah, I think it's Norm Haraway, the man from Rakaya. He's on that last stand tour. He's been round the shows. He's qualified for this, the semi-final. He's cleaning off round the top of that head now. There's a lot of wool. And these sheep have got horns as well, so you've got to keep digging with a handpiece to get in there to clear it all off. And they've got a lot of wool around the cheeks as well. Up and there goes Johnny Kirkpatrick. He's getting quicker and quicker. Tony Costa, he's going up over that big wrinkle up there on stand number 5. But it's the man from Rakaya. It's big Norm Haraway. All 6'7" of him, ladies and gentlemen. And that's before he puts his socks on. He'll clean off the cheek now then on stand number 3. Clean off around that horn. Now he's cleaning off around the cheek. This wool is very, very valuable. These merinos have been kept by Mr. Alan Patterson, and they're lovely big wethers there. They take a lot of shearing. There's a lot of work on them. And you can see those wrinkles. They're all over the sheep. So Norm Haraway has turned, but Tony Costa's come right back to him. I think his wife has sent him with instructions that he's not allowed to come home without bringing that Hyundai with him. Around that shoulder he comes. Norm Haraway out the hind leg though. He must have had a good pen of merinos there, because he's shown them very, very well. He's shown them very, very quickly. Out he comes. The hind leg for Norm Haraway. In he goes in for sheep number 4. Just a finishing touch, and Tony Costa's come back to him. In goes Norm Haraway. Change of handpiece there, because we're changing the wool type now on stand number 3. Big Tony Costa, he goes in. He changes handpiece. John Kirkpatrick down here on stand number 1. He's coming down the last side. Gavin Rowland has turned for home as well. Darren Ford, he's gone in, he's changed his handpiece. So now we've got a good final up on there, Tummer. They're really having a good battle.
They're having a good old ding-dong. That's what they call it. Huey, a good old ding-dong. But look at this Darren Ford. Where did he come from? He's got a long wool sheep on the board as well. Darren Ford, we know he knows how to get these long-walled ewes out of the way. Tony Costa down there on stand number 5, dropping into the long blow. Norm Haraway was in front when they first hit the crossies, but Tony Costa, he's out of here. They've got 3 of these long-wool sheep to shear. 3 second shear to shear. But don't forget about Johnny Kirkpatrick. Round the head he goes. Oh, look at these shearers. They're all onto the crossbreds now. Now's when the speed comes in, Johnny.
I was just wondering what happened to our Canadian co-commentator. She hasn't come in yet.
She's in awe. She's like,
in awe.
whoa.
Just mouth wide open. Yeah, that's the story. It's certainly amazing to watch these guys as they get up here. Johnny Kay, just watching him on that last merino, he had 7 jabs at getting up the neck, you know. Bang, bang, bang. Wouldn't go through. Finally got up there. Of course, when you get onto these things, whoop, up the neck without just one jab and you're away. Tony Costa first to step into the pen. Hey, they've got 8 minutes 46 gone now. Big Norm Haraway takes a deep breath. Axel Reed's right there as well. Darren Ford's got a bit of pressure on now. So is Johnny Kirkpatrick. Sheep number 5 on the board for him. Come on, Gavin Rowlands. You've got to walk the walk here now. Down the last side he comes. There's nothing easy about getting up there on the stage, I can assure you. But he's got to do it, and do it proud now as he gets the wool handler to shift the wool away as he comes down that last side. Nice long fleece. Into the fadge it goes. He dealt without the back. Here comes Norm Haraway stepping up the neck. Now they've got 3 seconds shear to go as well. Into the long blow. Out of the long blow comes Ford. He's let the break off. Johnny Kay's coming over the top as well on the last side. Axel Reed says, righto, I'm down here out of sight. I'm going to put a couple of quick shots in. Tony Costa under the shoulder and down and out to the flank for him. Big Norm comes over the top. Rock it off, Rakaya, come on. Down here, don't let the side down. You've got a few of your mates out in the audience are cheering you on, no doubt. Or they're still in bed, who knows? You've dealt to them last night. Out the last leg he goes. Rocking up the long blow. Now comes Gavin Rowland. Johnny Kay's got a bit of a mover here on the front. Axel Reed, he's hit the front. No, Hugo.
Yeah, Axel Reed, he's really pumping down there on stand number 6. But don't discount this man on stand number 1, ladies and gentlemen, because on his first full wool, he made up over half a sheep on everybody else. He's shearing well within himself, the current PGG Wrightson's national champion. He steps over on the long blows. He's swinging those blows in. He cleans off round the cheek and down the last side comes Johnny Kirkpatrick. He's hit warp factor now. Look at him. The young man from Napier on stand number 1. Out the hind leg he goes. Axel Reed gets to the turn. Darren Ford has turned. He's coming down the last side. Tony Costa is coming down the last side, but Johnny Kirkpatrick now in he goes. Change of handpiece because we're changing the wool type again. Now we go on to the second shear. He brings out his first second shear to the board. You watch him go now. Axel Reed's got his second shear. Darren Ford, I don't think he changed his handpiece here. I think he just went straight into the pen. But John Kirkpatrick from Napier, under my time. Darren Ford is right up there with him. Darren Ford is pouring those blows. Up the neck goes Johnny, up the neck goes Darren. Axel Reed goes into the back leg. Tony Costa goes into the back leg. Gavin Rowland coming down the last side of 6. Norm Haraway, I think he's got sheep number 7 on the board as well. Johnny Kirkpatrick is on the long blows. Darren Ford is on the long blows. Johnny Kirkpatrick has turned. Darren Ford has turned. They're having a real ding-dong there, Thomas.
Ding-dong is that the word, because down the last side steams Johnny Kirkpatrick. Darren Ford is right there. Young Axel Reed from Taipi down on stand number 6. He's pushing hard too. But it's all Johnny Kirkpatrick at the moment. Sheep number 8 on the board. There's one more left in the pen. Axel Reed down there. You're not too far away, mate. Keep pushing. Push it hard, because Johnny's got a little bit of a kicker into the undermine. He goes. Darren Ford, undermine for him. Norm Haraway, come on, Norm, pick it up, mate. I know you can. Gavin Rowlands, pick it up. Johnny, are these guys, can they pick it up anymore?
Oh, I think they can need to, because there's another heat behind them. This is only the heat one of this qualifying. Out the last leg comes Haraway. Come on, where's your South Island mates? Are they just still in bed, these fellas? Where's Rabbit and Co? They should be up here barking for you. Here comes Gavin Rowlands, turns onto the last side. Johnny Kirkpatrick turns for home, one in the pen now. They're allowed 3 handpieces in this competition because of the 3 wool types. Norm out with sheep number 8. But he's 3/4 of a sheep off the pace. Can we drive him any harder? We'll get the pencil into him. That'll make him go. Sharpen it down there for Axel as he comes onto the last side. Over the top, here comes Darren Ford, though he's got around Johnny K. He stepped into the pen for sheep number 9. Out comes number 9 on the front stand. Number 8 there for Gavin Rowlands. Yeah, over the top and out the last side there for young Axel Reid. He's going pretty well, just the pin points out the back there now. Look at him go. They're judging these sheep as they're dropping down the hole. In goes Tony Costa. Drop back off the pace a little bit. He's a half a sheep off the pace. Into the long blow now for Darren Ford. Can Johnny K get him back up here on the front? Down the last side comes Darren Ford. Where's Axel Reid? He's up over the top, you. Oh, she's tightening up a little bit, but it's Darren Ford under the shoulder.
Yeah, Darren Ford's coming under the shoulder. He's out the hind leg. Johnny Kirkpatrick isn't far behind. Darren Ford had a beautiful shearing sheep there. Out goes Darren Ford on stand number 4. Johnny Kirkpatrick just 4 blows behind. Sewing in that blow, nice and easy. Out goes Johnny Kirkpatrick. Norm Haraway's got sheep number 9 on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Costa, he's getting to the turn. Axel Reid puts the finishing touches. The young man from Taihape up there on stand number 6. Out goes Axel Reid on stand 6. Tony Costa, down the last side he comes. Nice and easy. He doesn't look as if he's moving quick. But by God, he's covering some ground with that handpiece. And out goes Tony Costa. And then we got Gavin Rowland and Norm Haraway. The 2 texture men down here on stands 2 and 3. They're on that last stand. John Huff's last tour around New Zealand, around all the shows. They've been travelling together. They're shearing pretty much together. Norm Haraway on the long blows, John.
There's not enough air left up on that stage right about now, though. They're tonguing it out. Look at him, he's gone red. He stopped breathing. Open your mouth and start breathing. Down the last side comes Big Norm. Gavin Rowland sits the top as well. Norm won't wait for him, though. It's all individual stuff up there. There's nothing about mates until the machine is turned off. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Big Norm there on stand number 3. Out the last leg for Gavin Rowlands from Rakaya. He's done the hard yards to get this far, and he's worthy of semi-finalist. And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. That's heat 1 out of the way.
Yeah, great, ladies and gentlemen. Great heat. Just before we fire into our second heat of the PGG Wrightsons, I'll make an announcement for the senior shearing finalists. These are the 6 top seniors going into our final later on this afternoon. In order of qualification: Casey Bailey from Masterton, Michael Ralston Levin, Robert Mudgeway from Taihape, Brett Roberts from Matauta, Sam Bullingham from England, and Turi Edmonds from Ratahi. So congratulations to those top senior 6 finalists. We'll battle it out later on this afternoon in the final, of course. Just a reminder to junior and senior wool handling finalists. We need you up here at 12:30 sharp, please. Junior and senior wool handling finalists, 12:30 sharp at the announcer's box to get you to do a draw and to get T-shirts. And also our junior shearing finalists at 1:30. We want you queued up here at 1:30, junior shearing finalists for the singlets and a draw, please. Another call, please, Brittany Coombe. Brittany, if you're in the stadium, can we see you up here, please? Brittany Coombe.
Okay, we're just about ready. Just a little bit of a couple of moments here, and we'll get these shearers up onto the stage. Just once again, we congratulate the sheep owners for their presentation of their sheep. Magnificent stuff here. Those merinos are shearing pretty well, even though they look not the brightest of sheep. They're coming out of the wool, ready to grow some more. Okay, can we welcome up onto the board, please, on stand number 6. We have Doug Smith from Ruawai, Aaron Haynes from Fielding on stand number 5, David Fagan from Tikawiti on stand number 4, Nathan Stratford from Invercargill on stand number 3, Rakai's Grant Smith on stand number 2, and Tautora Tipaniti Fata on the front stand here, number 1. Beautiful shearing we saw in that last elimination round. And we're going to see another 6 worthy contestants trying to make that final tonight. Interesting sheep, the merino. There's so many blows, so many different blows you've got to put in. Or whatever you want to call it, different shots or whatever. They require at least double the amount to get the wool off. Around the head, the ears, the horns, the neck. You've got to pull the big dewlap up over the tail. So they're all looking pretty sharp up there in their blue singlets. Great stuff. The PGG Wrightson's event has changed name this event over the years. There's been other sponsors, but PGG Wrightson's are our king of the heap at the moment in this multi-breed event. 3 merinos, 3 long wools, 3 second shear. When we get round to the final, I'm sure there'll be some lambs chucked onto the tally. We have a green light, gentlemen. Could we have you on the board, please? One, 2, 3, 5. Don't hurt yourselves in there, guys. I know you're super fit. Get your toes stood on those sharp merino feet. They've been scampering around rocks and what have you. They're like razor blades. Come on, team, on the board. Those jolly South Islanders are hard to get out. They'll be rolling their R's in there, and the North Island boys wonder what they're talking about. We have a green light, and all the shearers are on the board. Thank you, Mr. Referee. Close the door, please. Not behind you, in front of you. I want the door closed. Everybody's happy now. Righto. Timekeepers right. Judges. Competitors, go. We're off and moving in this one. Hey, 6 more worthy contestants. Want to get these 9 sheep shorn before lunch. A little bit of a tightening of the handpiece here on the front stand, Hugh. Hey, these young fellas, good to see them up here battling against the more experienced competitors.
Yeah, no, these young boys are coming through. They're keeping these old fellas, they're keeping them under check. They're keeping them under control. We got Tiffany Tefota from a very famous shearing whānau there from Tautoro on stand number 1. Grant Smith is a world record holder on these merinos on stand number 2. So he knows his way around these wrinklies, ladies and gentlemen, and he's from Rakaya. Then we got Nathan Stratford from Invercargill. He's a past winner of the Alexandra Shearers. He's a real fast-handed young man, and he loves shearing these wrinklies on stand number 3. On stand number 4, we've got David Fagan from Tikawiti. He loves shearing, the shearing game, and he's in this PGG Wrightsons again. He's won it quite a few times. He's won the Golden Shears 16 times. He's won the World Championship 5 times as an individual. He's won 625 open competitions. And at just the finals he's made would be way, way over 1,000. Up the neck we got young man Aaron Haynes from Fielding. Great to see Mr. Muscle up there on stand number 5. A real prospect in this shearing game. Look at him, there's no waste up there on stand number 5. And then up there on stand number 6, we've got another world record holder, Doug Smith from Ruai. A great man, he shears a lot of sheep all over the world. A big shearing family, his brother Roland, his brother Matt and him, they shear hundreds of thousands of sheep in the year. All over the world, in America, in the UK, in Sardinia, everywhere there's sheep, these boys will travel. So we got a really good lineup again. So who's the furthest on? It looks like it's David Fagan and Nathan Stratford, the 2 men in the middle. Down the last side they come. Around that front leg. David Fagan under the front leg. It looks like Nathan Stratford. You watch the speed that man's hand moves on stand number 3. He'd love to take this one out. He's just bought a bit of a ground down there around Invercargill. He'd love a big 4x4 to drive around it in. So Nathan Stratford then just about to put the finishing touches in. He goes for sheep number 2. David Fagan on stand number 4. He's no stranger to these wrinklies either. And he goes for sheep number 2. So we got another final settling up here, John.
Yeah, we're just looking at the time gone by. They were a little bit slower than the first heat on the first sheep. But the quality, no doubt, is there. A little bit difficult to say because the merino hasn't been judged yet down the back, but they're keeping the board points to a minimum, and that's the start. They're concentrating on keeping that comb nice and flat. The experience of Grant Smith here from Rakaya on the stand number 2. You got young Tifara here from Tautora on the front stand. You'd think it's almost seeded that we've got a couple of big guns in the middle, Stratford and Fagan, but there's nothing wrong with the rest of these shearers. It's just luck of the draw as it comes out of the hat where we get these shearers to shear. They can't pick their pens. The sheep are sorted out there in the sheds earlier in the week. There've been little different marks put on them, and they'll come in. That'll be pen number 1, pen number 2, pen number 3, and then it's just the way the shearer draws it, the luck of the draw to get up here and draw a stand. Righto. Back here, shear, look at that, how the change of the colour, that fibre, beautiful stuff. Mega dollars a bale, you know, something like $10,000 a bale for some of the fine wool stuff. It's just really, really expensive. And they make all the fine clothing out of it. A little bit of work to do for preparation, of course, the scouring and all that sort of stuff that goes on, and the spinning of the yarn that makes this product into its final garment and is worn with pride throughout the people that can afford to buy it, of course. I'm wearing wool, but not too much merino in it at the moment. And out the last side now comes a young fella here, Nathan Stratford. He'll have a smile on his face. He's not quite so young anymore as he comes across. He's had many trips here to the Golden Shears, but he's making this one a good one at the moment as he comes across the last side. He's got away from David Fagan now. He's just slowing their hand down. He's conserving energy. There are some crossbreds in second shear to shear in this event. Massive. You spread that wool out on the Nathan's fleece there, and it would cover half a tennis court just about. It's a huge fleece as he's coming down the last side. Fagan comes across the shoulder. Into the long blow is Aaron Haynes. Stratford goes in. He got that one out a little bit quicker. Up the long blow now comes Doug Smith. He's a big strong fella. Look at the size of that arm up there, just clamped around the back of the head of that merino. He's got one with not much horn on as he comes onto the last side. Got a face like a camel though, the old wrinkly weather. Look at, he comes over the top now, working off the shoulder. Aaron Haynes is right there with him. In goes Grant Smith, accomplished man. Hey, he's just evergreen, this fella. Brings out another one, record holder on these merinos. He's not setting too many records in pace at the moment. He's going for the quality, and he's renowned for that. Come on, young Tiffany, put the hammer down, mate. Breathe as you shear. You got to keep breathing to make the brain work. The old master David Fagan taught us that years ago. And like you'll see all good sports people, when they get to a little bit of a tough situation, they start breathing, get the brain thinking again. Up over the top now comes Stratford. He's still going away. He's looking like he's got the job under control. In goes Hainsey. Come on, Hainsey, put the pressure on. Use all that power on those shoulders. Another one out there for Doug Smith. Looking pretty good, but I think Stratford, he's got the man. He'll be the man to chip off when it comes to these long walls, I think, Hugo. Out the last leg comes Tautora. Come on, Tiffany, keep the hammer down, mate. Pump those young arms. Think about every shot you put in. Into the long blows, shuffle the feet with every blow. Oh, very, very careful blows for Nathan Stratford as he goes around the back there, Hugh. You just see him gliding across that shoulder, waiting for the skin to get out of the way of the front of the comb.
Yeah, he's just letting that comb do the work, John. That's what you've got to do with these merinos. Those combs are designed to just go glide over the skin and just take the wrinkle out of the way. They just flatten that wrinkle out. But you've got to give the comb time to do it. So Nathan Stratford in, around that cheek, down the last side he comes. David Fagan, look at that big merino weather there on stand, number 4. He's doing the same. If you watch these shearers using these merino combs, they just let the comb do the work. They slow the hand down. They just allow the comb to just glide over the skin. But by golly, when we get onto those full wools and then the second shear, you'll see a different style. They're allowed 3 hand pieces loaded up onto that stage because they're shearing 3 wool types. So that means 3 different combs. So Nathan Stratford from Invercargill changes the hand piece, brings out the first of his full wool. David Fagan, down the last side he comes. We're a little bit slower in this, but they'll have to make up a bit of time now when they get onto these quicker shearing sheep. David Fagan out the hind leg. Grant Smith from Rakaya, he brings out his first full wool. Tiffany DeVotta, come on Tip. Up the neck he goes on these big, powerful merino weathers. And David Fagan then puts the finishing touches. The man from Tickawitty, he goes in, changes to the handpiece, brings out his first full wool. He loves these full wool. He loves the second shear. Doug Smith from Ruai, up there on stand number 6. His brother Matt and his future sister-in-law Pippa watching this over in the UK. Down the last side they come. So too is Aaron Haynes. He's right up there with them. We've got a good semi-final going on, ladies and gentlemen, as Nathan Stratford's coming down the last side. The little man from Invercargill down in the deep south. He's decided he's here for a hard time, not a good time. And he's really wheeling into it now. He's dealing to him. In he goes for sheep number 5. David Fagan on the long blows. He'll try and catch him up. He'll throw a few little tricks, a few little moves in there on stand number 4. Down the last side comes David Fagan as the belly wool comes off for Stratty there on stand number 3. Into that back leg and then the undermine. Those 2 big blows that go one either side the backbone. Nathan Stratford into the undermine. David Fagan goes into the pen for 5. Up the neck goes Aaron Haynes. Up the neck pops Doug Smith. Grant Smith from Rakaya. He's got sheep 5 on the board as well. Tiffany Tafota then. He's about to get rid of those merinos. He'll be glad to see the back of that end. Down the chute she goes. Change of handpiece with Tiffany. Then he'll bring out sheep number 4, John.
Yeah, well, he's worked hard. He's full of concentration. He's tried to keep it down to a minimum on the board, plus out the back, but he's got to make the most of it now. He's a real good crossbred shearer, by golly, but those sheep supplied by Alan Patterson were a real challenge. Now we've got some cross keys sheep, the full wools here. Out the last leg comes Nathan Stratford. Fagan turns off the long blow now. Grant Smith right with Fagan. Sheep number 5 on the board. Sheep number 5 on the board for Aaron Haynes and Doug Smith as well. So there's their second full wool sheep. Fagan under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. But it's Stratty from Invercargill into the work here. The last of his long wools. Flicks out the belly, out the back. Down the first off leg. They've been well prepared, these sheep, well farmed. Up over the top, he's about to come. Moving his sheep, 2 good shots up the undermine, 2 over the top, stepping forward up the neck. A little bit of left hand movement there as he tried to lift the brisket wool a little bit so he could punch through underneath with his handpiece. Now he's down towards the most difficult part of the sheep there. The sheep's behaving itself. It's tucked its head right around behind his leg. It's a real darling. And he's rolling up the long blow. Normally on that first shoulder, you've got arms and legs and wrists and fingers all on the road, and nothing seems to want to sit together. But that sheep well behaved itself. Into the long blow now comes Grant Smith. Tautora man got number 1's got sheep number 5 on the board. Fagan over the top on stand number 4. He's chasing after Stratford now. He's 7 or 8 blows adrift to him. Or maybe it's 4 or 5 as he comes down the last side. Aaron Haynes steps in for sheep number 5. Keep those tallies looking pretty good. Number 5 in the belly off down on stand number 6. He's got 3 second shear sheep still in the pen. Some of these guys. Grant Smith about to go in for the first of the second shear. His long wall's gone. Down the chute. But down the first off leg, here comes Stratty. Fagan's chasing after him now on sheep number 7, stand 4. The Maestro, hey, Evergreen up over the top. She gives a bit of a shuffle. Got it under control, says Fagan. Here comes Stratty up the long blow now. Here down the last side, finishing touches on sheep number 5 for Tifara. Smith down the first off leg. He's right in the hunt too. Sheep number 7 for him. By crikey, Hugh, they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders, and the points are looking good on the big screen up above there. But David Fagan has caught Nathan Stratford up. He's only 2 blows. He's got him in the sights. He's just about to pull the trigger. We got 2 more sheep left in that pen of these second shear. We've got to change a handpiece on stand number 5. Nathan Stratford goes in for sheep number 8. David Fagan goes in for sheep number 8. This is the PGG Wrightson's National Circuit semi-final. This is part 2, the second part of it. Off comes the belly wolf for Nathan, off comes the belly wolf for David. He just flicked it out. The judge has got to kick it out of his way. Nathan's into the hind leg. David's just stolen a blow. Up the neck they go. David Fagan's going. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful blows. Nathan's still with him, though. You watch the speed of that man's hand on stand number 3. He'll just keep flicking it. But David says, I don't care how fast his hand is. My arms can go quicker. My legs will go quicker. They might be older, but they can cover a lot of ground very, very quickly. Off comes a cheek wolf for David Fagan. Down the last side he comes, and Nathan Stratford's right with him. Round the shoulder they come, underneath the front leg. David lifts the leg. Nathan doesn't. Out the hind leg they go together. This is a real ding-dong on stands 3 and 4. David's out the hind leg. Nathan's out the hind leg. In they go together. In they go for sheep number 9. This is like a final up here, John.
Oh, they're live. Hey, just watching Fagan dragging the sheep out. He's changed the old stance. He rolled that one out the door. No good getting older if you don't get any wiser. And he's big. Cheeky when he blows up through the backbone there. Almost to the shoulder blade. Up around the back of the head. He said he's going for the doctor. He knows he's got a bit of ground to make up as he's down into the long blow. Round the back of the head comes Nathan Stratford. Come on, you're going to have to choke that comb now, Stratty. In he comes. Quality board points. He's looking pretty sharp. Rolling up the long blow, but the old Maestro comes across the top. The legend Fagan down and out to the flank he goes. Sweeping blows down that last side. 3 shots, he's going to be down the border in 14.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. A pretty good shear over these difficult sheep. Well shorn, well grown sheep. Lovely stuff, David Fagan. Semi-final finished now for Nathan Stratford, and he was in about 10 seconds behind. Timoniti Forrest still got a bit of work to do. Aaron Haynes has still got the 1 in the pen. Likewise as the Douglas Smith down the far end. Grant Smith from Rakaya, he's going to be the next to complete the job. He's right down over there. He's glowing, the perspiration's just running off their head. Down over the top, in goes Hainesy for his 9th and final. Doug Smith's got the 9th one, belly off and down the first hind leg is Grant Smith. The experienced crossbred, merino, shearer, everything. He's done it all, and he's going to hit the button very, very shortly. 2 blows to go in Tautora here on the front stand, and down on stands 5 and 6. They've got their 9th. Tautora's still got 1. Come on, Tiffany, keep the hammer down, mate. It's not over till it's over. Well, you knew that when you got up here today. It was going to be tough against these big fellas. Hey, you're a great shearer yourself. Just keep the hammer down, keep the concentration. Coming down the last side is Doug Smith. On stand number 6, Hugh, he's poking it in quick and poking it. He knows that every 20 seconds he's behind the faster shearer. He's going to get another point in time added on. Rocking out the last leg now is Aaron Haynes. He's right on the money. Look at him. Shooting the big blows in from the middle of the shoulder right out to the toe. That is one of the longest blows on the sheep, from the underneath the shoulder right out the toe. Aaron Haynes from Fielding finishes the job and stands up to have a yarn with young Doug Smith. Number 8 and number 9 on the board is it here. On stand number 1, Tippity Defodder, the great Shearing far now from up in the north. Name has been here at the Golden Shears for years. Young Tippity flying the flag now for everybody. And he's right into it, flowing nicely on the second shear sheep. Across the shoulder blade, up the long blow, onto the last side, just like that, just like poetry in motion. He's swooping across the money side of the sheep, using that left hand, pushing and probing the skin and the bones, working it down, pulling up a little bit of loose skin about now. There he goes, hand in the flank and rocks out that last leg. Beautiful style. Lovely, well-shorn sheep here, the last in the PGG Wrightsons, ladies and gentlemen. Tippity Defodder. Great round of applause for all those competitors that have been competing this morning. And I believe we might just have a little bit of a cup of tea break and we'll be back with you very, very shortly. So as the yellow scores come up on this big TV screens there, you keep an eye on that and you'll know how these competitors have compared against the previous heat. Douglas Smith has got an 83 up there at the moment. That'll be his final score. Those yellow scores are the final score in this event. And of course, the lower the score, the one we're looking for. Nathan Stratford's got a 64 on the temporary market. There he goes, a 65.36. Got a 95 and an 83. So they're all adding up. We'll just see how it goes. Alan Precious. test. Wool handlers, we will be starting your competition at 12:45. Make sure you're here for a 12:45 start. It is now 27 minutes past 12, so you've got roughly quarter of an hour.
Your junior and senior wool handling finalists, we need you up here in about 2 minutes, please. And we'll do a draw for you and give you some singlets or t-shirts. Junior and senior wool handling finalists. Just a reminder to junior shearing finalists, we'll need you up here for a draw at 1:30 sharp.